Stockholm City.
Malmo City.
Malmo. He's the boy from Malmo City.
There we go. Yeah.
Malmo.
All right, now I take a recording. All right. Sebastian Metal Martinez, MMAnytt, here at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas with no one like him, Gareth A. Davies.
No one like me. Why no one like me? Oh, sorry, no one like me. Yeah, no one like me.
And you're pretty popular with some of our viewers. I remember reading the comments for that interview we did in Stockholm. One of them was Gareth Davies for Prime Minister.
Well, if you want to kind of, I'd say I belong to probably a loony party more than anything. But no, I mean, it's great to know that people, it's all right, I'm just relaxing behind you. It's great to know that, you know, I'd say fans in Sweden, but I tell you what, whenever I go to Sweden, what have I been to? 4 events there now?
Yeah, I think so.
In the last 3 or 4 years? It's amazing. The Swedish fans of MMA, I don't want to sound like Dana White here. It's the best fight city in the world is Stockholm, but it is. It really is a brilliant place to go to. And you can't go out in Stockholm in our position, and go out for a meal, you go to a boutique, you go to, there's someone in there that is aware of MMA.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the countries in Europe that's most underrated in terms of the kind of the quality of fan, if you like. I know we talk about Ireland being brilliant, but you know,
or at the very least being loud.
Oh yeah, those guys are really loud. But no, I've got a love affair with Sweden. You know.
I know. I've been.
I really like ABBA now as well, believe it or not.
Oh really? Okay. I don't know if I'll go that far, but
no, listen, I will.
Okay.
I've always liked ABBA. I've never confessed this before, but fuck, they're so talented. Excuse me for swearing.
All right, well, Lay All Your Love on Me is actually a pretty tight song. But anyway, we're not here to talk about ABBA. We'll probably do that some other time. But this time, we're here to talk about this monster week of UFC events, the UFC Fight Night 80, the Ultimate Fighter finale, and of course, UFC 194. This is, you know, a crazy week of just tons of fights. There's so many big profile guys. You've been in the sport for quite a while. How do you look at this special UFC week?
I sat here, I arrived on Sunday night, gave myself a full week here. I've been in the midst of Tyson Fury, the boxer who just won the World Heavyweight Championship, who's a very controversial figure. I arrived here on Sunday and I printed out all the fights from this week. And I went through and I thought, oh my God, there's enough material here if you interviewed most of these people to keep you going for a year. It's the most incredible event I think I've ever been to, fight event. And in a way, it's being slightly underplayed. It's been underplayed until you're here and experience it. We've just had the workouts today for, you know, the first night of the main event, the main card in the first night. And we've just seen some of the most amazing stars who are coming up in the UFC right now. And it feels like we've just nibbled off a tiny little bit of this huge fight pie that we're going to enjoy all week. It's really incredible to be here. The Irish fans are going to roll in the next couple of days. I don't know how you're feeling, but it really does it feels like Christmas.
I was actually saying that early. It's like Christmas for MMA fans.
And it's like the box opened and all these fights came out, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we haven't really opened the box yet, but you know, let's start with the first part of that box. Rose Namajunas, Paige Van Zandt. I want to get your take on this, and also I want to know who you got picked as a winner.
I watched them both work out today. I'm a huge Paige Van Zandt fan in terms of what she can bring to the sport, her marketability, her looks, her athleticism, her shape. You know, how she represents herself.
I'm surprised you managed to catch her workout in between all your dancing.
Yeah. Well, you know, once the trance comes on, as I call it, or the drum and bass, you've got to move, baby. If you can't feel it, you're hardwired wrong, as far as I'm concerned. I can't help myself moving. It's hard to take your eyes off Paige Van Zandt when she's working out, especially, you know, look at her physique and look at her skill levels. But I felt today when I watched Rose Namajunas, who was the first to work out, she'd shorn her hair off like Juno. She had this short hair. She looked like Juno, you know the movie? Yeah. She's very pretty, but she just looked like she'd been in a kind of starvation camp, in a fight camp, in a survival camp. Pat Barry, her partner, looked really lean as well. A dog came up onto the mat.
And even the dog looked in good shape.
The dog, she told me, has been an integral part of this training camp. I don't know if you noticed that or you'd asked her about that.
Well, I saw at the end there was a little bit of sparring involved.
She said what happened during the camp was the dog, who's called Mishka, was helping her, she found, with her movement because it was yapping away at her feet, and it really helped her footwork. And if you looked at her footwork in the workout today, she looks primed right now.
Yeah,
She mucked up in the final of the series to win the strawweight title. I think Rose Namajunas is very talented. Paige Van Zandt is a tremendous scrapper, but I just think Rose Namajunas will have that little bit extra on Thursday.
All right, and then if we go to the next main event, Chad Mendes, Frankie Edgar, another pretty close fight in my opinion.
Bumped into Chad Mendes in Whole Foods store here last night. He looks fantastic. That guy's never out of shape. We know he's a pocket battleship. Was McGregor his last fight? I can't even remember now.
It's been so crazy.
I think McGregor was his last fight, but he's for me. I mean, I would have said a year ago he wouldn't, or 2 years ago he'd never have beaten Frankie Edgar. But I think Frankie Edgar's got a lot of miles on the clock. Whenever I see Frankie Edgar, I call him champ because he has that feel about him.
Yeah.
He's always been the champ.
But some people say that like too much fight time, especially if it's in the kind of wars that Frankie Edgar has been in, it isn't always a good thing.
Miles on the clock. I think Chad Mendes is much more confident on the feet now. Yes, he had a tough time against Conor McGregor. He looked great 14 months ago against Jose Aldo in the stand-up.
Oh, yeah.
If Frankie Edgar establishes a rhythm in this fight behind his jab, I think he could do it. But I think Mendes has got the youth, and I don't think there's much age between them, to be honest, but I think there's so much less mileage on the Mendes clock. And I feel that he might take this. It's a 5-round fight. You can't write Edgar off in a 5-round fight, but I'm going with Mendes.
All right.
I kind of hope Edgar wins, though, for some reason.
Well, I think most MMA fans intrinsically somehow root for Edgar after his Rocky story with Gray Maynard.
Exactly.
All right, and the big one. Actually, we're going to start with before the big one. This also pretty big one. Chris Weidman, Luke Rockhold.
Listen, that is a big one. Forget about the hype. Forget about the Conor McGregor kind of show. This is a big, big fight between Chris Weidman and Luke Rockhold. For me, southpaw, long Luke Rockhold, brilliant armory and skill set. I think this is a tougher fight than any of the Anderson Silva fights because the skill set that Luke Rockhold possesses. I mean, I've done several interviews with him, and he's all about adjustment in a fight, using the fighter IQ. Yes, he got caught by Vitor Belfort in that fight down in Brazil, but I think it was his first fight coming in from Strikeforce. Yeah. He wasn't really ready. I think he'd hammer Belfort now, to be honest. And I just feel that this is a fight where Luke Rockhold may well establish himself as the leader of the fight as the first and second round progresses. But I think Weidman is such a brick and so simple and dangerous. If there's an opening, he'll finish the fight. And I see it being a tremendous fight, led by Luke Rockhold, but finished by Chris Weidman.
Poetically put, as always. All right, and now to the big one. Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo. I mean, it's the insanity of it all is almost overtaking the fight itself. It's like people are getting caught up in the theatrics of it, the rivalry, the trash talk. But when all is said and done, when the fans back at home, switch on that fight, who do you have picked as a winner?
At the moment, I've got Conor McGregor 3rd round TKO. But again, it's one of those fights where I want to see this week how calm Jose Aldo is. He's had 4 months to lose the anger that Conor McGregor created in him. I want to see if Conor McGregor attempts to get under the skin again during the week. I think 14 months layoff is a factor against Jose Aldo. Conor McGregor's self-belief is off the charts, and he's got momentum. He's very fit at the moment. He's fully fit, we hear. How hungry is Jose Aldo to continue that amazing title reign? Every title reign ends. I'm fascinated to see how they are this week. I think if it goes to 5 rounds, we will get a super fight. And I think if it goes to 5 rounds, I can see, a lot of people would disagree with this, Jose Aldo winning on points. Because I think Conor McGregor will eventually be caught by the leg kicks. And I think early in the fight, we'll see McGregor's brilliant movements away and out all the time from those kicks. I think the longer the fight goes on, the more Jose Aldo will be able to land them. I think we can expect a very, very high technical fight between two amazing fighters with amazing, fight IQs. And again, adjustments in this fight are going to be everything. Yeah. And for both men, the whole of Brazil is waiting for Jose Aldo to close the mouth of this braggadly Irishman who's delivered everything he said he would deliver. And the whole of Ireland is waiting to crown a new prince or a new king with gold around his waist. So, it's one of those fights. We do not know what will happen till that first bell tolls.
Very true, very true. And obviously some of these fights have overshadowed a lot of other very fun matchups that I'm pretty sure that the fans back home will very much enjoy. Are there any fights that are flying under the radar that I think people should keep an eye out for?
Well, I think this lad Sage Northcutt should be watched, because...
Not that he's flying under the radar, though.
No, but I think you should keep an eye on him because I think he's one of those spectacular merchants. Don't blink. He could win a fight in a second and a half. He could do a somersault and, I don't know, land with his toe on someone's nose and they just fly out of the octagon with wings or, well, I watched him here tonight,
Wait, is this a fight breakdown or a fantasy game?
Yeah, probably. But, well, it's like, listen, it's like watching a game. It's like playing a game. It's like you can manipulate the guy to spin. I watched the guy physically. I haven't seen him up close before. He's our height with about a 4-inch neck on him. Yeah. And he's an extraordinary
and abs
shape.
That won't quit.
Listen, we all had abs. They're all you hide your abs as you get older.
I got two of them. I got two.
Mine are hidden 2 decades ago. But what's extraordinary about him is he's got this incredible physique. He's like gymnast, athlete, fighter, talent. Yeah. And he's the guy, like you say, he's not really under the radar. Let's watch this guy. He's a star.
Well, I say, fans, keep your eyes on Tim Means versus John Doomsday Howard. That's going to be a very fun fight.
Agree with that.
Gareth, any parting words for the Swedish fans at home and all 4 non-Swedes watching this?
Drink lots of tequila and vodka on Thursday night, then Friday night, then Saturday night, and we'll see you in Sweden soon. Love you all in Sweden. You are the best.
Any favorite dance moves?
I can't dance with no music on, I'm sorry. But I will dance for you later.
If I were better at beatboxing, I'd get something going, but I'm not, so yeah. We'll get some footage from the after party that Gareth will later regret.
Yeah, all right. Daddy dancing.
Gareth,
Daddy UFC dancing.
Gareth, always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure, my friend.
And we'll see each other after this interview.
Cool. Boom.